Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. Today I wanted to show you two of my favorite things to make at home that we used to buy at the grocery store, and now we don't buy them at the grocery store anymore because we can make them at home. And not only is it more cost effective, but the product we come up with is much higher quality. It's healthier for us. It doesn't have a bunch of fillers or preservatives. So that being said, the first one is yogurt and the second one is bagels. Yogurt cannot be easier if you have an Instant Pot with a yogurt button. I know a couple people who have Instant Pots who don't have a yogurt button. If you don't have a yogurt button, I have heard that there are crock pot recipes as well as alternative ways to boil and incubate your yogurt, like boil it on the stove, incubate it in the oven with the light on, that sort of thing. So if this interests you, don't be discouraged just because you don't have this exact piece of equipment. Just go Google another recipe and I'm sure something will pop up. Okay, we're gonna get started. We're gonna make 2 quarts today. So I'm gonna take 4 cups of milk, and I'm just finishing this one. I have another gallon here. In a perfect world, I would have raw milk, but I'm currently priced out of raw milk, and that's just something that we have to live with. We all have realities about our budget constraints. So the next best thing for me is a grass-fed organic milk. It's a local store, so you will have to look for something similar near you if you like this. And then you just put the lid on. I'm not even sure if you have to put the lid on because it's not going to pressurize. At the beginning of the recipe, when you push the yogurt button, you want it to go to boil. So now it says boil, and it's going to beep when it hits boiling, and then it will boil for 5 minutes, and then it will beep when it's done doing that. So we're gonna let it do its thing. This takes maybe 20 or 30 minutes. And while that goes, you can get your yogurt culture ready and figure out how you are going to cool your milk. You could just cool your milk on your counter because it has to come to 116 before you add your yogurt culture, but I'm a little bit impatient, so I usually put it in the sink with a little bit of water and ice packs around it, and that brings it down to 116 in about 5 minutes. Here is my yogurt culture, and yogurt culture is literally just yogurt. This is yogurt from my last batch. So you want 2 tablespoons for 2 quarts, and don't be tempted to add more if you're trying to get thicker yogurt. There are other ways to thicken your yogurt, but you cannot add more culture. More culture does not equal thicker yogurt. There's something about the bacteria will overrun it won't be a healthy, symbiotic relationship anymore if you use too much yogurt. It will just be funky. It won't be thicker. So, okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna get started on is the bagels. I'm gonna double this recipe because we can't seem to keep enough bagels in the house. This is our yeast, by the way. We buy it by the pound because it's much more cost effective. So now I'm just going to whisk it up and let it bloom for 5 minutes. I can work on my flour mixture in the meantime. This is 7 cups of flour. Like I said, it is a double recipe. And I'm going to add my salt. I'm going to whisk that up. So now I'm just going to get a quick temperature on the yogurt, and it's almost down to 116, and then when it is, I put my culture in there and I whisk it up, and then I just plop it back in the Instapot, and you put it on the 24-hour yogurt setting, and it firms up really nicely. Okay, and then back to the bagels. The dough kneaded for 8 minutes in the mixer, and then I put it back in the bowl. And the bowl has lots of oil in the bottom, and then I roll the dough around in the oil to make sure that none of it gets sticky and stuck to the bowl, so everything is just nice and coated. And then I cover it with a towel and I rise it for an hour, and then you get this beautiful ball of dough. So I pour this out on the counter, and then I use a, what's this gadget called? I think it's a bench scraper, a whatchamacallit. I use that to cut 8, or in this case 16, since it's a double recipe. And I cut 8 balls of dough out of that. And then I get my baking sheets ready. I line them with parchment paper, and I've been buying this brand from Azure Standard. It is definitely not the cheapest brand, but I love that it's chemical free and it comes in these individual sheets, which is just so nice. There's no cutting or anything like that. You just pull them right out of the box and they're ready to go. And then I shape these dough balls. The key is to roll all of these creases down and under the dough so that it's nice and smooth on the top. And then once you have it kind of condensed down there, you can take your finger and poke it up through the hole and gently tear open your little bagel hole, and then you can use your fingers to roll the dough around and really get a nice hole in the center. And make this hole really big if you want a big hole in the center, but also if you like to top your eggs with things like eggs or whatever, you can make your hole smaller and then it won't fall through your bagel. So you can really customize these how you want. So after your bagels have rested for 10 minutes after shaping, you just boil them in water for about a minute on each side. Sometimes you can add sugar to the water if you want, but I don't bother. And then you just bake them in the oven. And it's good to rotate the trays. I did not, just because I'm really busy and I have a lot of kids. And so these are what my bagels look like, and they're not the most evenly baked, but they are delicious and they also freeze well. And then here is the next day with my yogurt. You can see it's nice and thick. And I just ladle it into quart jars and I put it in the fridge, and we will eat this in about 2 days. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful. Have a good day.